Obsession is what I would classify as a feel-bad movie. That's right, we're doing deep literary analysis with this one. Oh my god. Let me just plant a flag before we start. This is one of the best horror films I've ever seen, and I did not have a good time watching it. Hear me out. So here's the setup. You've got Bear, hopeless romantic twink with the haircut of a drowned rat, determined to ruin trivia night because he won't stop thirst posting in the group chat. He's crushing on Nikki, aka Inde Navarrette, aka the best actor in the flick, and bro is unbelievably down bad to the point where he forces this poor waitress to let him profess his love to her as a test run. But when it comes to the real deal, he folds and tells Nikki he just wants to be friends. Ruh-roh. Now, instead of taking the L, Bear decides to use the wishing rock from 2009's shorts directed by Mr. Spy Kids. What does he wish?
I wish Nikki Freeman loved me more than anyone in the entire world.
And safe to say, he gets what he wants. This girl immediately switches up, jumping into his car, putting her feet up on the dash and gazing into his eyes like he's her celebrity crush. Aw, how cute. But something's not quite right here.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Nikki isn't in love with this dumbass, something else is. She's gone to the sunken place, and the new Nikki has taken the wheel. And she is, shall we say, clingy. At first, Bear is stoked with this. Shorty is all over him, it's exactly what he has always wanted, but the cracks start to show. Beyond stints of real Nikki breaking through, that is. Case in point, the cat. I hate this so much. The movie opens with his cat overdosing on oxys. Yeah, it's that kind of movie. But the fucked up part, Sandy looks exactly like my cat. I'm so upset. Anyway, Nikki is tweaking more and more, and she digs up his rigor mortis cat. Legit, this thing looks like a plank of wood, and creates a little memorial for it in the kitchen. Pillow, flower petals, candle, the whole shebang. Naturally, Bear isn't too happy about this. Hey Nikki, what the fuck? Oh baby, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. Nikki, I am very, very upset. Stop it, I don't like it. Bro refuses to see the red flags. Anyway, he goes to work, he's enjoying his homemade lunch. Aw, how thoughtful. He's chatting with Sarah when he sees a note from Pookie, and what does it say? Well, let's just say that Bear's protein for that afternoon was of the feline variety. Does this snap him out of it? No, of course not. He goes home. Nikki, stop it, I don't like it. And she cries. He's like, oh baby, I'm so sorry. We move forward. Down horrendous, I'm telling you. It's around this time that Bear is faced with irrefutable evidence that Nikki is effectively possessed, and he doesn't care. Yeah, bro is the villain. What follows is a montage which is haunting. I'm not going to go into detail here, but Bear has accepted that Nikki is a passenger in her own body, and he doesn't care. He's going to use her any way he sees fit. Yeah, that is until Psycho Nikki becomes too much of an inconvenience for him. She keeps tweaking, watching him in his sleep, refusing to let him leave her alone, basically just crashing out in more and more severe ways. So Bear calls the support line on the back of his wishing willow. Yeah, this is for real. Anyway, what comes next is fantastic. I had full body goosebumps because the guy on the line asks Bear if he wants to talk to the real Nikki. And we hear her. She's having a bad time. We hear her screaming on the other end of the line, and it makes you sick to the stomach. Bear confronts Psycho Nikki about this and about some lies she's been telling, and she freaks the fuck out. Bear, being the generational wet blanket he is, folds and decides, fuck it, I'm in too deep anyway, might as well ride this out. Next we get to the party scene. This shit is so uncomfy. Psycho Nikki shares some Hansel and Gretel fanfiction she's been writing with the class, and let's just say it has some incesty themes to it. Yikes. But then we get the best example of real Nikki breaking through, and it might be the scariest beat in the movie. She immediately starts screaming about, it's not me, it's not me, it's not real, blah blah blah, grabs a beer bottle and starts smashing it into her face. As you can imagine, this is a bit of a vibe killer, and Bear takes her to the hospital at Ian's insistence. Legit, he wasn't even gonna do it. He wasn't even gonna take her to the, yeah, whatever. Anyway, I'll be honest, this is where my one recurring gripe kicks in. A nitpick, but it is this. The people around Nikki do not react like she's doing what she is doing. After the party, someone should be calling the police. Instead, Sarah brings it up later in the movie like, "Oh, Bear, it's such a shame that you didn't kiss me at the party," as if that's the takeaway from what happened at that event. Like, Nikki's mental breakdown. Yeah, anyway, they sit down and open her college acceptance letter like it's a normal Tuesday and just pretend that that didn't happen, I guess. Whatever, man. That said, the jump scare right after, peak. I knew it was coming and it still scared the absolute hell out of me. And I have to talk about the music because the music is doing some heavy lifting here. The soundtrack trains you not to trust the happy tracks. By the back half of this movie, you have been Pavlov's dogged into bracing for something horrible to happen whenever the music is, happy. That's a real trick, and it worked on me. Another small thing though, I feel Sarah is a little undercooked in this movie. I wanted to be more invested by the time we got to that letter scene than I actually was, and when Bear opens that letter later in the movie, I realized I didn't really care about Sarah, which is a shame. But anyway, back to the positive stuff, the $1 billion moment. Now, things are drawing to a close, and in light of Psycho Nikki having committed a murder, Bear finally decides, you know what? Maybe the coochie ain't worth it. Big moment for him, as you can imagine. He goes to the bro Ian and tries to convince him that Aladdin was based on a true story, and that Ian needs to undo Bear's wish by making one of his own. Ian pulls a 180 and wishes for $1 billion. Reasonable reaction. What comes next is genuinely great. It manages to be funny while filling you with dread, which is the exact tone that this movie lives in. My only frustration is it's framed like this is the moment where Ian is convinced that Bear is telling the truth, but then we cut to Bear and he's home. He's just like left. Anyway, Ian shows up banging on the door, all excited about the money, purely so that he can get capped by Nikki. For a character with so much presence and depth given his, little screen time, it was disappointing for me. There are a few spots where Obsession is unintentionally funny too. They reverse and speed up some of the footage in spooky scenes to make Nikki look like the Grudge, essentially, and I'm gonna be honest, it is distractingly hilarious. Same can be said for the moment where real Nikki breaks through in her sleep to talk to Bear, although, the dialogue in this scene is great. I see a lot of clips on Instagram where people are praising this scene. I get it, the writing, phenomenal, as it is throughout the movie. However, the effect is just a little goofy to me. So where does this leave me? Walking out of Obsession, I felt the same way I did walking out of The Joker. Yeah, that's for real. The Joker. No, not that one. That one. Films that are built around a compelling, despicable motherfucker where the ending leaves everything miserable. The difference is Joker is sympathetic to a degree, Bear is not. Despite doing the right thing in the end, sure, there's no undoing the damage that he has caused, and whatever comes next for Nikki is probably bad. Both movies leave you feeling kind of gross and uncomfortable. That's the company this film is keeping. Obsession is not for everyone. Hell, it's probably not even for me. One look at my review catalog on this channel will tell you this is not my usual wheelhouse. But it is truly fantastic. Inde Navarrette deserves every single good thing coming her way after this, because the entire movie rests on her being able to play this dual role so effectively, and she nails it. It floors me that this was made on a $750,000 budget. This is exactly what Hollywood needs more of if you ask me, and I'm stoked it is getting the critical reception it deserves. For me, Obsession is a 9 out of 10. A feel-bad movie that I 100% recommend. That's all from me for now. If you want to see more of my reviews, check out my channel. I have one for film reviews in general. And yeah, I got some exciting stuff coming up, so subscribe if you want to hear more from my ass. Catch you in the next one.